What is the best English style of white rum? That is what we're going to find out in today's video. Now, this is another video in my series of white rum videos. When I first started this whole series, I was thinking this was going to be a 2-video thing. I've started off with the kind of the white rums that you get from a supermarket, under 20 quid essentially, white rums. Now I was going to put them head to head against like the more premium white rums. And this video, just the whole series of videos just grew and grew and grew and grew, as you'll see, because it's not just these two rums in today's comparison. So as I said, I've done the premium, I've done the £20 ones, what the best white rums for £20 in your supermarkets, UK obviously. I've done the best white Jamaican rum, and now I'm venturing on to the best English style of rum, and these are category 2 in Smuggler's Cove, Martin Kate's Smuggler's Cove. So we are talking category 2. Now there are obviously other rums that kind of fit into this, but I wanted to go for English styles of rum. So the head-to-head in this comparison today, I've got Plantation 3 stars, which has been my go-to white rum for a lot of years. You know, before I embarked on this journey, before I had a lot of Rum Coke in the bar, 3 stars. I still absolutely adore 3 stars, but I have sort of swapped over to Rum Coke, a Cuban Carta Blanca. I really, really adore that. So we've got this. This is a blend of Jamaica, Barbados and Trinidad. 3 stars, essentially, but all English styles of rum. And then we've got a brand, Dawley's, a 3-year-old from Foursquare, Richard Seal and Foursquare. So I'm going to put these two head to head. And just to note, just to caveat, this is the 40% ABV Dawley's. There is going to be another video coming. There's going to be 2 videos coming on this alone, actually, where I'm going to get the Dawley's 46%, I thought 47% ABV, and I'm going to do a video tasting them both side by side. But there's also another Foursquare one, and it's the Real McCoy. And the Real McCoy in the UK, we can also get the 40 and the 46. So I kind of want to see what the difference is between those two. And as I say, there are other videos. There's category 4 videos coming. So where we've got the likes of Flor de Carnia going against Ron Cube, going against Brugal, going against Angostura Reserva, I think. So there's so many white rums. Who knew the white rum category was so big? But hopefully even after like 2 videos so far, you will appreciate that there is so much variance even within white rum. You cannot just call it a white rum category. There are so many different flavours, so many variances, brand for brand, category to category, style to style. It really is. So as I said, as I've alluded to, it is not just these 2 white rums I'm going to be testing out today. We couldn't do a category 2 video, an English style of rum video, without doing El Dorado. And again, I mean, this is a completely different taste sensation to what that is alone. Bearing in mind that I haven't done this neat for quite a few months now. So we've got those 3. And then we've got a UK player as well, Mad City. This would actually clarify or come under Martin Kate's category 2. It's an English style of rum. It is, I forget what it is. It's Dominican Republic, Barbados, oh, maybe Spanish style, but Barbados and Jamaica and Guyana in there. So it's a blend of 4. But as I say, it's a botanical rum. I'm not going to talk about what botanical rums are. Go and seek out other videos, come into a live stream and ask her. But this is a botanical style of rum. Also, I will say, kind of think rum made like a gin, obviously without the juniper. So there's lots of botanicals in there to go that. There is actually one final caveat in here. There is another rum coming out to play that I actually did in the last white rum video, because I did do it in the Jamaican video because it is a Jamaican rum, but it is actually not a pot still rum. It is kind of a blended rum, essentially. It is from Appleton, it is from Jamaica, but it is predominantly an English style of rum. It is more suited to these in a comparison to these than I think it actually was in a Jamaican. It's very different vibes. So I actually want to see if this, which romped the last video, I want to see whether this actually goes head to head with these. The taste test with this, I'll flash Mummy Barman's here. I'll flash her up on screen, jumbling them all up. I'll make them up in a minute. So you'll see her on screen now, but I'm going to make them up in a few minutes time. Coming back down to 4 drinks in this, and I'm swapping that final drink over from what I did in a Jamaican. So obviously I'm going to do neat, but white rum, would you drink it neat? I think you should, judging by what I've tasted all right so far, I think you should, but would you normally? But I'm going to do the neat. I'm going to do White Rum and Coke because the Cuba Libre, even though these are not Spanish style of rums, you would do White Rum and Coke. Yes, of course you would. We're going to do the Daiquiri because it is a must for me. White Rum, Daiquiri, it has to go there. But I'm going to do the Mojito this time round. So this is going to be interesting for this one because in the Jamaican challenge, I didn't do a Mojito because I don't think you do Jamaican rums as a Mojito. I did them with Ting. So for this, I want to see, this is going to be interesting for me alone. How does this come up in a Mojito? But before we go any further, we have to talk about prices. I've rearranged these in price order. And it's really because there's actually not that much separating these three compared to these two. So let's just talk these. These are logged out Master of Malt prices online. You will be pretty hard fetched. I can imagine that coming into the supermarkets in not too distant future, but at the moment, no. So all of these are pretty much going to be online. So Master of Malt, UK, you know it's my go-to place. We start off with this one, as same as the last video that I did, the Jamaican video, where's it gone? 1995. And this is, just to clarify, for those of you who haven't seen the Jamaican, this is the rebranded Appleton Estate. If I remember, I'll put a little thing up on screen there, the bottle, the old bottle, so you recognise it. Most of you, as soon as you go like, oh, okay, I didn't realise. It's just rebranded from Appleton Estate to Kingston 62. It's Appleton's White Rum. So 1995. We move on to El Dorado 3-year-old. Again, it's been a staple for me for a lot of years. I've swapped about, toed and froed, but it is very different to that. I'm hoping that I will be able to taste that neat. I'm hoping that I'll be able to pick that because it is very different. But we shall see because I haven't really spent too much time sipping these neat. Yeah, so this is going to be interesting. But anyway, back to prices. El Dorado 3-year-old, £21.50, so £1.50 more. Okay, and ABV wise, 40, 40, 40, 40. The caveat is 41.2, so I knew that was a little bit stronger, hence so 440s and a 41.2. So 1995, 21.50. The Plantation 3 stars is 22.49, so another £1 on top of that, but you're still only talking £2.50 separating those two. All right, and then we get on to the more expensive stuff, the Dawleys. The Dawleys 3-year-old, the 40% version is £27.95. As I say, I will do the comparison. I've already said it, that versus the 47% Dawleys, which is only £1.20 more, give or take. So, you know, I potentially, if that comes out, it's like, why would you buy the 40% if you could get the 47% for £1 extra? So we'll do that in a separate video. But then this one, Mad City, is Foxhole Spirit. Sorry, I haven't alluded to that, but I have talked about these. They're well known for their gin in the UK, hike gin, essentially. So that's there. But as I say, it's a UK distiller. It's distilled, so you have to forgive them for price. They are never, ever going to compete down at the 20 ends. You are never going to get a UK producer, a UK distiller competing price-wise down there. They just cannot afford to because they haven't got the bulk. They cannot buy in bulk, bottle-wise, ingredient-wise, everything-wise. So prices, you're just going to have to forgive them. This is £29.95, so a whole tenner more expensive, but British, English, UK, it's just, you know, support local, all that kind of stuff. You have to forgive them for that £10. There's just no way on earth a UK distiller can compete price-wise with big brands. So tasting neat, taste test number 1. Do you know what? I will just add this caveat in before the whole lot. There isn't too many terrible drinks in here in the whole lot. There's one in a couple of categories. It's like, but the rest, you know, this is where we're talking really decent brands here. Let's be brutally honest. There's not going to be a bad drink, but there is. I've got that gas gun. There is that kind of a level above in some of these, but it's a couple of categories. I think there's kind of one rum here, and I don't know which one it is, but there's one rum here that just doesn't sit right with me. Very evident on the neat tasting, but I don't know whether it's the same rum that comes down in the rest of them. The others, they're just like a whole gulf apart. So it's going to be quite interesting. Anyway, let's go through the neat taste testing. So my favourite up here. So full disclosure, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Again, I've put them back to front, but same filming session as the last video, the Cuban video type's done. So I've filmed them at the same time. So in first place, this one, vanilla-y, soft, rounded, easy drinking, medium to long finished. Quite happily drink that neat. Absolutely gorgeous. Love that. Again, I've no ideas. I could probably pick it between 3, but I don't know. In second place, again, nice, subtle hints of vanilla. Not quite as vanilla as that one, but subtle hints of vanilla. Long finish, smooth, good body to it. I've almost got a slight hint of Jamaican off that, which kind of led me towards the Kingston 62. But then there is Jamaican in that as well, Plantation. So I'll be brutally honest, I don't know. I kind of went Kingston 62 on that. But that could be equally be Plantation. I really like it. In third place, this is the kind of, well, there's 2 here that I think these 3 I've picked, I think, purely because of the taste profiles. In third place, coffee, chocolate, subtle hints of coffee, subtle hints of chocolate, nice medium short finish. Now, which has really surprised me, because if that's what I think it is, El Dorado, I've never really associated that with kind of like a medium short finish. I've thought there. But comparing it against the rest of them, I was like, that's actually for me the shorter, actually the fourth, the 4th shortest finish of the lot there. Really, really surprised me. I wouldn't have expected that coming off a Guyanese rum. But so we went for that. So I think if I'm having a guessing game and there's process of elimination, I think that's Kingston. I think this is the El Dorado. In 4th place, there's a bit of a peppery bite in here, bit of oakiness to it, subtle hints of vanilla. It's still really nice, quite happily. Out of the 5. Oh, out of the 4 so far, probably the one I'd least want to drink neat. And this is the thing, do people drink white rum neat? Not many people do, but I would quite happily drink those. I quite happily drink those 2, quite happily drink those 3, but those 2 pip it for me. So I'm going Dorleys for this. I think that's more of what I would expect from Barbados, especially the Dorleys rums. I kind of expect that peppery kind of bite to them. Now this one, this has to be, and then I've not had much of experience of drinking this neat. I did it in the live show, but I've not really done too much of it. This has to be the Mad City, because if you stuck a couple of juniper berries in that, that would be gin. You could just tell that it's a completely different style, the way it's made, completely and utterly different. We've got coconut, subtle hints of coconut. We've got orange, a lot of citrus going on there. We get the rum sort of bite at the end. Having done a lot of gin tastings over sort of like 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, even early, where are we? 16, 17, 18, early part of 2019. I swear to God, stick a couple of juniper berries in that, that is gin. I'm not saying it's that, I'm not saying it's not rummy, but you can just tell the profile. It's botanical rum, which is distilled like gin, essentially. So all the botanicals go into a still, and then it's stilled, and you get the flavours up. All these get this flavour, the tropical fruit of aging and stuff like that. This is not aged at all. This is just distilled, bottled, jobs are good. So that has to be Mad City, it has to be. So process of elimination, Mad City, I think that's Dorleys. I think that is El Dorado, 3-year-old. There's subtle hints of Jamaican in that, but there is Jamaican in that. I'm going Kingston, and then I'm going Plantation. If that is Plantation, that's gorgeous. I love sipping that neat. That's my favourite one out of the bunch. So let's go reverse order. Normally I go that way. Let's go reverse order this way. Had to be. Mad City, number 5. Just had to be. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not kind of what I expect off a rum. That's all. And I've had this discussion on live streams. Go and check out. If you're looking at this thinking, what's he talking about? Hit me up and I'll stick a comment. I'll stick a link of where I'm talking this into the live stream, because I do go into this in depth. Number 4, Dorleys. 2 for 2 picks so far. Right, this one has to be El Dorado. It has to be number 2. you just can't mistake that. There's coffee, chocolate notes, has to be. Right, so have I picked these two? Easily my favourites out of the two. Quite happily drink them neat. There's just slightly more Jamaican notes coming off that. So I'm going Kingston, going out with Jamaica, Appleton. Number one, yes. Which is Plantation, number 3. Happy as anything with that. That is gorgeous. Love that. And then we come on to the Rum and Cokes, the second tasting. Now, I'll go reverse order for this because it's easier for me to read my notes. This is where, you know, you expect all these to work now. Your daiquiris, mojitos, there's not going to be a bad one, or shouldn't be a bad one. So what I kind of did with the daiquiris and the mojitos, I didn't write tasting notes. I just had a sip and then I rated them out of 10. And then kind of like made my favourites out that way, because you would expect them all to work in a daiquiri and all that. So that's the only way. There's no point me saying different. Obviously, there's subtle tasting notes coming off, but... So 5th one. In 5th place, I put meh, not as good as the rest. And this is what I was alluding to in the bit of brief. There's one here that's just sitting there that's just kind of not quite right. And if I had to play the guessing game, I'd say that has potentially finished in bottom in the others as well. And I'm guessing that. There's no definitive taste. It's just a bit not quite right. No, let me rephrase. It's good, really good. It just doesn't stand up to these. It's completely, and it's a completely different style of rum. You wouldn't expect it to stand up, but I would categorise it in Smuggler's Cove category 2. This is kind of a blended, of course it is pretty much unaged rum. So, you know, it's a blend of Jamaica, Barbados, Dominican Republic, Guyana. So it's kind of like blended rum. So it has to sit in category 2, Smuggler's Cove, has to. So that's the one I'm putting out and out there. I've got these two then in kind of equal place. Again, it's going down this rum journey. It's getting a little bit harder to completely do these impartial, because off that one, I get the peppery kind of oaky kind of finish to that. I want to make it clear, these 4 I'm really happy with. Really happy with them. Serve any of those up as a rum and coke, I'm really happy with them. Drink them all day long. But there's subtle differences, and yes, I do have my favourite. Slight peppery, oaky kind of thing. Nowhere near as much as like Havana 7-year-old that I did in the previous video filming. But it's just got elements to it. So I'd guess that that's Dawley's. I'll put that there. This one, I've kind of just got a little, I kind of just got the little kind of chocolate vibes off the rum and coke. So I have to think that's El Dorado. I do. I really do enjoy it, but these two have stolen the show for me. They really have. And I can't pick the difference in these two. They're just lovely, smooth, happy all day. This one for me kept me going back. I think for me, if I'm scoring them out of 10, this has to be a 9 out of 10. This has to be an 8 out of 10 in this little comparison. I've got no idea which way round they are. I've got no idea whether I'm right with these, to be honest. I'll be brutally honest. I'm pretty much guessing that. But those 3 could be anything, really. If I was a betting man, I'd say Dawley's, but yeah, these 2. So second favourite, that's a 9 out of 10 for me. That's a 10 out of 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 for me. So in last place, number 5, Mad City. It's just not kind of there, really, to be honest, but yeah. Right, in 4th place, number 4, Dawley's. Yeah. You just, when you get tasting these, when you do that, you can just pick, or especially when you know what you've got there. If you don't know what you're drinking, it's going to be a lot harder to pick out. But when you kind of see these rums and you know that what the profiles are, you can kind of pick there. For instance, if I didn't know that one of these was El Dorado, I would never have picked that out in a million years. I would have got, it's got a little bit of chocolate notes, but I probably wouldn't have got to El Dorado. It's only because I know El Dorado's in here that I'm thinking El Dorado's here. So that's that. So this one, as I say, I think this is the El Dorado. Number 2. Yeah, there we go. Number 2. Right then, so it's between these two. These were, so if I say 9 and an 8 out of 10, I think they're sort of loose 6s, 7s out of 10s. There's a gulf between those two and these two. So in second place then, let's go here. Number 1, Kingston, which means in first place, oh, spilling it on the bar, is Plantation. I love that, the 3 stars. That is really good. As a rum and coke, that is really good. And then for the third taste test, or test number 4, if you include the money, the cost per bottle, daiquiris. All 5 of these are daiquiri rums. They are. I've gone down. So my 5th place one, I scored a 5 out of 10, and you might think that's bad, but it's the only way I could do it when you've got a 9 out of 10. if that makes sense. So 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. It has to. That's the only way I can describe it. 5 out of 10 makes it sound bad, but do you know what? If you put that against, just take the last video that I filmed in the same filming session, the Cuban rums. You know, if that's a 5 out of 10, then the best, the Ron Cube, the 7-year-old Ron Cube, out of that doesn't even compare to that. So the Ron Cube has to be a 3 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10 in that respect, but you know, it was better than that. These are suited to daiquiris. There's no hands about it. So there wasn't too many toasted notes. That was the 5 out of 10. It just didn't compete. It was just not even in the same ballpark as that one. Nowhere even close. That one, again, I think that's at El Dorado this time, and I really do like that. And I've scored it a 6, but it's just got the sort of the coffee chocolate tinge to it in the mojito, which I'm not a huge fan of. I like it, I'm just not a huge fan of it. It's a rum and coke, yes. It's a daiquiri, not so much. These 3, not a flipping clue. I can't. It's just, they're just nicer. They just go up in scale. That's better than that. That's better than that. It's that simple. Cleaner, crisper, fresher. Makes you want to go back for that. So I can't pick them. No idea which one's which. There's no Dorley's vibes coming off that for me at all. It's just proper rum, in your face, lime. All done as a 6-2-1, 6 parts rum, 2 parts lime, 1 part sugar. So no idea. I generally don't. So for all I know, like Dorley's might be that one. I generally don't know. So, but the only one I'm staking my claim on is that one has to be El Dorado. All right. So in 5th place, number 5, Mad City. Yeah. Okay. Shame for the UK guys, but I mean, you have to kind of think. I feel bad saying it, but this is the category they're going up against. You know, they are going in, you know, they are going to want to try and pull sales away from these 4 brands. They simply are. They're not going to be competing with your Havana Especials, your Bacardis, they're really not. This is their competition. And that's the only way I can sort of say it. I can't think of another brand. I can't think of another category to put them in. This is the category they're going to be fighting for, and it's just not quite there. That's the only way I can sort of say. It's not me trying to put them down. It's just not kind of what I want from a rum. Like that. Right then. So slight coffee for number 4. This has to be El Dorado. Number 2. Yeah, number 2. Right. So that's El Dorado. Right. These 3. Couldn't tell you. Let's go for it. 3rd place, number 1, Kingston, Appleton, Jamaica. Right, okay. So that's 3rd place. So in 2nd place, then, that surprised me actually. Going back on that, I was thinking, do you know what? If that's more rummy, that would be the Dorleys. Interesting then. Let's go for it. In 2nd place, number 4, Dorleys. Wow. It's the clean sweep so far. Number 3, Plantation. Absolute clean. Do you know what? All 3. I stand by that all day long. It's just completely different, vanilla-y, rounded, lovely finishing rum and coke. The daiquiri, the neat. You know, it's just. I can't argue with that. I really can't. So then final taste test is the Mojitos. Oh, Mojitos. Right. Now, again, I've just scored these out of 10. There's no distinct. I couldn't even pick the El Dorado this time around because obviously you've got mint in there. I've got the soda. I've got the sugar. The way the Mojito differentiates from Daiquiri. So Daiquiri, I've done 621. Mojito, you'd essentially make 421. So it's kind of a little bit sweeter, more lime, more sugar forwards. So less rum, less rum to the same amounts of sugar and that. So you kind of got and then you've got the mint and the soda water playing against it. So I kind of lose the characteristics. Again, as a drink, serve any of those up to me, and I'm happy. That those two stand out for me. So I've scored that a 9 out of 10. I've scored that an 8 out of 10. Now here's the difference this time, because I gave that a 5 out of 10, and that was like, it was all right, you know. But I've given these two 6s. So there is, in relative, compared to the Daiquiri, there is a big gulf between that. I couldn't justify giving either of those a 7. If that was an 8, because I think that is head and shoulders above that. All right, so you can argue it's similar to the Daiquiri, but it's just the sugar content, the mint. You know, the mint is going to play with different sort of notes in the rum there. But without a doubt, this is my least favourite one out of the lot. So, okay, last place then, 5th place, number 5, Mad City. I think it's just kind of the way it's distilled. It's perfectly acceptable. It is really perfectly acceptable. And if you so here's the conundrum, because if you put that up against Bacardi, for instance, right, that is going to be head and shoulders above Bacardi, because Bacardi is not, as we found out in that video, Bacardi is not developed for the Mojito. But put Bacardi up against it for a rum and coke, Bacardi's going to smash it. So it swings and roundabouts, all right? It's perfectly decent. If I was just scoring that as a straight Mojito, you know, it's a decent 7 or 8. But the fact is, if I've given that a 9 and an 8 out of 10, there's no way that competes. All right, so do you get what I'm saying? Right, so that's that. So that's a 5. I've given these two 6s out of 10s equal. Can't really split them. No defining characteristics, I just can't split them. So number 2, El Dorado. And a little bit for the bar as well, number 4, Dorley's. Right, El Dorado and Dorley's. Wow, it's Kingston and Plantation again. All right, is there any difference? Any characteristics? It's an 8 out of 10 and 9 out of 10. That's what I put. I can't pick subtleties. I just enjoy that more. That's just more rounded. Maybe. No, I'm clutching. I was going to say maybe more vanilla-y, and I'm talking minuscule. I'm clutching. I'm absolutely clutching. I don't know. But anyway, a strong 8 out of 10. But in second place, number 1, Kingston. Wow. So Plantation, yeah, number 3. A clean sweep of Plantation. So this video doesn't need too much summing up. It's pretty evident to me from my own personal palate what I enjoy. I really love that. And you know what? I would say give that a shout as well. But the fact is, you're going to have to buy these online. It's not just, oh, I'll grab that from it. I'll get that because I can't get that at the supermarket. You can't get any of these at the supermarket. You can't. That may be coming. Because Foxhole and Hike Gin is in Tesco's, for instance, that may come. But the simple fact is you're going to have to go online. And also I've got to say is, for whatever, my laptop's gone off now, but I think it was £1.50, maybe £2.50. Say £2.50. Is that £2.50 worth it? Yes. Hands down for me, that beats that. But putting that up against your... Like 20, what was that? My laptop's going to say, to put that up against that is, if you take that out of the equation and then put these 4 in, that's a bargain. 19.95 compared to 26 or whatever it is, 25, 26, I think so. That's a real bargain compared to there, but the star of the show is Plantation.